Talk a little bit about the Bulldogs, who got a win over UMass on Saturday. Fell behind 10-0 in the game to start. I did ask K-Dad when we talked this morning. I said, hey, where was your nervous meter at that point? And he was like, eh?
And my pants felt a little tighter at that moment. It's like, what's going on here? Which
is rare for you these days, for your pants to feel tight.
Yeah. So they got it figured out, though, thankfully. And, it looked like, UMass scores in the final, second to last play of the game. Big for some, by the way. The over-under was 59.
Ooh.
But it looked like what a game between an SEC team and a team like UMass should have looked like. And so in that vein, I give credit, to Levy, to Coleman Hutzler, to the team. They played well enough. The defensive stats still aren't great. They gave up almost 200 yards rushing to UMass. They were able to do some things in the passing game they haven't been able to do all year. Teams on the season are completing, I think, 74% of their passes against Mississippi State. UMass was at 59%, so that's good. Forced a turnover. The turnover I thought was big. That's where the game kind of turned around. It's 10-0. UMass has the ball. They're driving, and they throw a pick. And from there, State got 5 stops in a row and scored 5 of the next 6 possessions, I believe, and put the game out of reach.
Offensive numbers were pretty balanced. This was not an eye-popping stat game for Michael Van Buren. He goes 14 of 25 for 222 and a touchdown. Was sacked 3 times.
Yeah.
State runs it for 241 though, and Johnny Daniels with 92 yards on 6 carries. Devon Booth 76 on 11 carries. Xavier Gayton 69 yards on 2 carries.
Nice.
Van Buren carried it 9 times. Ended up with 14 yards net.
2 touchdowns though.
And had 2 touchdowns rushing in the game. So those first 3 guys I mentioned all had a rushing touchdown, and Van Buren had 2 of those, and then 1 through the air as well. Jordan Mosley, the tight end, 4 catches for 107 yards in the game. Not a tight end?
No, he's a receiver. Traore is the tight end.
Yeah, I know Traore is, but I was thinking Jordan. He's a bigger receiver though, right?
He's a big receiver, but he is a receiver.
Okay.
And the only reason he's playing or starting is because Mario Craver is still out.
Gotcha.
So, balanced offense. Defense made some plays. It looked great. It's probably the last one of the season. That's where Mississippi State is right now. They're a 23.5-point underdog coming into this weekend. I imagine they'll be somewhere between 17 and 20-point underdog to Missouri. And then the Egg Bowl, probably somewhere between 24 and 28-point underdog in that one. Depending on, I guess it's not really depending on anything now that I think about it. So, They needed to get a happy locker room. They got it. There's nothing from this game I'm going to sit there and tell you, they can build on this. But I will say this about Van Buren, and I did an interview today with Chuck Oliver, and he pointed this out, and I agree with him. This kid is, not playing exactly behind, the 7 blocks of granite, right? He's facing pressure in every single game, but he continues to play well, and it doesn't seem to be flustered by it. His confidence doesn't seem to be affected by it. He just goes out there and plays well every game. We asked Levy about him today, and he said, look, I love his confidence, and I love what he's doing right now, but I'm challenging him. I challenge him every day to play better because we need him to play better. And that's an interesting comment when you consider that I feel like for a true freshman, he's played at a pretty high level all year long. But Levy is trying to get a little bit more out of his young quarterback. And if he can do that, if he can find another level to Van Buren in this season, State could find a way to get an upset in one of these last 3 games because even as bad as the defense has been, they've been in some games where one more score might have made a difference for them.
Yeah. Stone Blanton had 14 tackles in the game. Nick Mitchell had 10. Got a sack from Ty Cooper, and you had Deontay Anderson and Kai McClendon split a sack in the game. So 2 sacks for the Mississippi State defense. That was progress.
Progress.
Getting to the quarterback.
They were, and they got some pressure on them in other plays as well. So just it's kind of a little bit of a running joke at this point with the sacks, but to get a few, they needed to do it. So good for them.
C-Spire text line. What are the chances Van Buren transfers? I feel like that would be devastating for Mississippi State.
It would be, and I'm not concerned about it.
And I just feel like Mississippi State will do what it needs to do to make sure that their returning starter at quarterback is their returning starter at quarterback.
I think if you know enough about Van Buren and Lebby's relationship, I'm not too terribly worried about it. I mean, there will be an NIL piece to it. That's how life is nowadays. He will get money to stay at Mississippi State. And
he will get tampered with because
he will have offers to go.
He will have offers to leave, but I think he wants to be coached by Jeff Lebby.
I say offers. He will have opportunities.
Yeah.
No, that'll be offers.
Yeah, maybe it'll be offers.
Yeah.
That is the most important piece of this off. It is the most important piece, but it's like 1A, 1B with defense and leadership there. But
yeah,
when you've got your quarterback, you do whatever it takes to keep him, even if you have to overextend a little bit. You do what you got to do.
When we talk about the quarterback position, I mean, he's going to have to beat out Blake Shapen when we get to the spring. Shapen was not playing poorly when he went down. He's not the reason that State was losing games.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a real quarterback competition, and there is a world where Blake Shapen is State's starting quarterback next year.
In that world, that question that was asked might take on a little bit
might
different.
Be a little different at that point.
Little different meaning. I actually completely agree with Tyler's message. If Drew Pine is Missouri's starting quarterback when they play State, then Mississippi State will have a chance in that game.
Agreed.
100% agree.
Drew Pine can throw Missouri right out of that game.